You're going to notice as we progress through the book that we like to use what's called the rule of 4 to present our relationships 4 different ways. We would like to try to present them numerically, in words, visually, and in symbols. So I want to give you an example of how that goes by taking this relationship we have between the sequence of odd numbers and the sequence of squares. We've already shown it numerically. That's this relationship right here, just in numbers. To show it in words, what we're going to do is go to Fibonacci's Book of Squares, where he gives the relationship actually in the first paragraph of his book in words. Then to show it visually, we're going to go to the Walker Art Center in Minneapolis. I want to show you a piece of art that I saw there. Later in one of the other Take 5 videos, we'll show it in symbols. So let's go now to this first video, and I'll show you what it looks like in words from Fibonacci's Book of Squares. The cover of Fibonacci's Book of Squares, written in the year 1250. Here's the introduction to that book. Here's what Fibonacci says in his own words. I thought about the origin of all square numbers and discovered that they arise out of the increasing sequence of odd numbers, for the unity is a square, and from it is made the first square, namely 1. So when Fibonacci talks about the unity, he means the number 1 in our notation. To this unity is added 3, making the second square, namely 4, with root 2. If to this sum is added the third odd number, namely 5, the third square is created, namely 9, with root 3, and thus sums of consecutive odd numbers and a sequence of squares always arise together in order. Now, you may be wondering, why are we trying to show these relationships 4 different ways like this? Well, the reason is to try to get more people through mathematics. We know now that some people are visual learners. They learn things better when it's presented visually. So when we have our relationships, besides the numerical way of showing it, we want to show it visually as well to include more people, the visual learners, in the people that understand what's going on. So the reason is to get more people through mathematics. Okay, let's go to the Walker Art Center now and take a look at this relationship between the sequence of squares and sequence of odd numbers visually. The exhibit was part of This Will Have Been, Art, Love, and Politics in the 1980s, and this particular piece is called Button Progression, done in 1986. And you can see it's buttons on these stools, and the array of buttons tells us that there's a relationship between the odd numbers and the sequence of squares. So I want to show you how that happens. Okay, so I've got some dots down here. What I'm going to do then, here's the first square and the first odd number. There's just one of them. If I go to this dot and I try to make a square out of this, I'll put in some green dots. How many do I need to put in to make this a square? 3 of them. And I have 1 plus 3 is 4, the second square. Let's go to this dot. I'll go 1, 2, 3 to fill in that square. And then I'm going to go out here to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 to make this square. So what do I have? 1 plus 3 plus 5 is 9. I can go out to this last one if I want. And let's see, let's make it 1, 2, 3. And then I'll do the next one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Just trying to complete that square. And then finally, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. I have a nice square right here with 16 dots, and it's 1 plus 3 plus 5 plus 7. If I add the first 4 odd numbers, I get the 4th square. Okay, so that's a look at the rule of 4, where we take this relationship between the sequence of odd numbers and sequence of squares and present it 4 different ways. You'll see that we'll try to carry this idea of the rule of 4 throughout the course in different parts. You'll see it come up where we take a relationship and show the same relationship these 4 different ways.